What's happening, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to this video today. The Canadiens lose 4-1 to the LA Kings. And like the title kind of says here, I mean, if the Canadiens want to remain in the mix this season, they got to be able to score more. And this has been a theme for this is probably the third season in a row where the Canadiens can't score. And, a couple seasons ago, including last year, expectations weren't very high. And therefore, there wasn't a lot of pressure on this team to win. But now the expectations have gone up a bit. And the Patrick Laine injury certainly doesn't help anything, of course, we know. But even with Laine out of the lineup, this team just still isn't nearly deep enough, and they're still not scoring goals. And one of the things I think they really need to do if they want to take a lesson from the LA Kings last night is they need to get more shots from the point. We saw Montreal was one of the best teams last year in terms of goals from defensemen, right? So all three of the LA Kings goals, minus the empty netter, came from the point last night. Slap shots, wrist shots, and that's how they beat the Canadiens in terms of the score sheet. Now, from the Canadian side of things, they kind of beat themselves because they were down 2-1 for the last half of this game, and they just couldn't tie it. They couldn't capitalize on their chances. Nick Suzuki had a glorious chance. Kirby Dach had a pretty good chance right in the slot in front. He couldn't bury it. Alex Newhook had a chance in the slot off a rush play. And then he got an even better chance off a really nice slick play, Kirby Dach putting the little dangle through his feet and passing it over to Newhook. Now, I cannot confirm for sure. I've seen two angles on the replay, whether the LA Kings defenseman actually got a stick in the way of Alex Newhook, because for me, it looked like Newhook kind of whiffed on the shot, but maybe he whiffed on it because the defender lifted his stick. So you guys can confirm that for me if you saw that play near the end of the game last night. So in terms of what to expect from the Canadiens this season, it's only 5 games in, right? The season is still so young, but the fact that it's this early in the season and the lineup seems to already need a shakeup, that's one of the biggest problems for this Canadiens team, is that they need to keep shuffling the lines to try to find success. And that's not a formula for winning. That's not a formula for success, right? So when it comes to teams like the LA Kings or the Pittsburgh Penguins, who we just lost these last 2 games to, these teams have an established nucleus of players, veteran players, and a core that just works and can seem to find offense when they need to. They can seem to generate when they need to. They can defend when they need to, whatever it is, goaltending wise. But they got traffic in front of Sam Montembeault, like they used to do for Carey Price, right? You get traffic in front of him. If he doesn't see it, he's not going to stop it, right? So in terms of I think that's just where we're at with the Canadiens, is that the lineup still just isn't nearly deep enough. It's still not good enough. And it's hard to know what to expect from this lineup. Suzuki, Slavkovsky, and Caulfield. Caulfield got his chances. I thought he had a good game, but I didn't think that Slavkovsky had a great game. We weren't seeing enough of him driving play and really taking charge. And he's still 20 years old, so I'm not going to expect the world from him yet. But the Kirby Dach, Newhook, and Armia line still did generate some chances, but they just couldn't capitalize. And that's what's really hurting the Canadiens most. And also the fact that they're not getting much secondary scoring from the bottom two lines either. It's a curious thing when Jake Evans is one of your best forwards, your fourth line center, when he's one of your best forwards on the team, not a great sign, in my opinion, because you need your top guys to be your top guys. And Jake Evans is playing very, very well this season alongside Brendan Gallagher and Josh Anderson. I didn't see a lot of Galley in this game. I didn't see many chances from him. He's having a good start to the season, but didn't see a ton from him. Christian Dvorak, constantly the whipping boy for the Canadiens when they're not doing well. But Oliver Kapanen and Emil Heineman have played pretty well, especially Heineman. Might want to see Heineman get bumped up in the lineup to get more of an offensive chance. Kapanen, he's a rookie, but he has his moments where he looks okay and moments where he's not getting a lot of ice time, and you don't see a ton of them. All right, so Mike Matheson leaves the game with an upper body injury. And somebody said to me in a comment the other day on this channel that Mike Matheson is expendable. Not even close. Not even close. I don't think he's near expendable. And not just because he got injured. Before this game, I would have said that Mike Matheson is nowhere near dispensable at this point. You see the veteran, smooth skater that he is, a guy that makes defensive mistakes sometimes, but I thought he's had a pretty decent start to this season, at least not including the Boston game where I didn't see much of it at all. But you see why he's the top defenseman on this team, the minutes he puts in, the leadership he brings, but also the way he plays and the way he can carry the puck out of the zone. He brings offense. He's looked good on the power play. from an overall standpoint. And then Lane Hudson ends up putting in 30 minutes in this game. Now, Lane Hudson had himself a decent game still. And it was just fun to see him with that hit on Kempe, that hip check. That was the loudest the crowd got, I think, other than Justin Barron's goal. And that was the only goal the Canadiens scored, was Justin Barron's wraparound goal. But that was the loudest the Canadiens fans got, was when Lane Hudson put that little hip check on Kempe, and also had a good battle with him throughout the night. So defensive wise, I think Lane Hudson was fairly responsible and didn't look out of place in this game specifically. So having to play over 30 minutes by force because of the Mike Matheson upper body injury, we're going to find out soon enough how bad that injury is, but not good for the Canadiens defense core anyway. So who do you call up right away? Logan Mailloux, another right-handed shot maybe? I guess you could do that because technically you still do have 3 left-hand shots in the lineup with Lane Hudson, Arbor Jackeye, and Caden Gooley. So if you did call up Logan Mailloux, it wouldn't be so bad. But we really need to get Jaden Struble in this lineup. And I'm not sure if it's a health thing. Like, I'm not seeing him as injured. So I think you got to get Jaden Struble in this lineup sooner than later, much sooner than later. So those are my thoughts on the game and why the Canadiens are still not having much success. After beating Ottawa, we thought, okay, we had a lot of trouble beating Ottawa. We hadn't beat them in 10 games. We beat them 4-1 last Saturday. We had a lot of hope after that game, didn't you guys? So I thought we had a better chance against Pittsburgh and LA here. But again, those teams have a core nucleus. They've won before. They've won many Stanley Cups. The last 2 teams we've played and lost to here. So what do you think the Canadiens need? I expect Caden Primo will take the net against the Islanders on Saturday. Let me know your thoughts on the Canadiens and this game down below. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Ciao.